everybody, it's Mark Messier, and you're listening
to Blueshirt
Underground Show,
the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in to find out all the latest news. Let's go Rangers.
Unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, remember what's the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, remember what's the critical thinking hangar.
Now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York Rangers hockey.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show. Today is Cinco de Fire. It is Wednesday, May the 5th. We are live with a Red Alert podcast, video show, the whole bit. My name is Jim, and as always, I'm joined on the other side of the window by the one and only, the incomparable, the still looking for work. He could be the next Rangers GM and president, Edward Geik. Eddie, good evening. How are you, sir?
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
We are a complete shit show, my friend. Welcome to it.
I mean, I thought I was out. I thought I was out of the circus. I wasn't the buffoon of the NHL fandom. I thought I was out. They had good drafts. They had a president we could believe in. A former Ranger. Making all the right moves predominantly. We had a coach, he's mad. The only guy they didn't get rid of was the mad guy. Are you fucking kidding me?
He's as good as God. He's as good as God.
Oh, of course.
He's as good as God.
Oh, of course. Drury's going to bring his... No, excuse me. Dolan's going to bring in his guy.
Big Guitar Jimmy.
We're a fucking circus. We're a clown show. All those guys should be put in a fucking clown car. It's utterly ridiculous. And this is all done by James Dolan, this jackass, living off his father's money, just playing around with like this is some kind of tinker toy to him. And it's all politics. I'm sorry. It's all politics. He don't like the mamby-pamby JD and Gorton being politically correct. It goes back to the Tony D'Angelo thing when he said they played his last game. I know for sure Tony D and James Dolan's political ways of thinking are aligned. He didn't like it. It chafed him.
Chapped his hide.
And then we all know Dolan, if you want to put it up, that was Dolan's statement. There is no way John Davidson and Gorton put up that reaction to the Tom Wilson finding that thug, that lowlife Tom Wilson going after Artemi Panarin. Oh my God! It's like fighting a Muppet attacking that man. No courage. It takes nothing to go after a man like that and book them. This is disgusting. And of course, yes, as a fan, we were outraged. Some of us were more outraged than others. And this is the statement released. All right. Disappointed? Okay, that sounds JD. Act of violence. All right. Now, I don't know. That sounds a little... But, listen, okay. But when you get to the end where it is an attack on George Parros, listen, George Parros was a goon. He was a bad goon. Again, but when you take someone to task, most owners will not do that. I'm not owners, GMs. This was Dolan's making. This was Dolan's reaction. And listen, it's valid to a point. But, but I believe simply that JD and Gorton did not sign off on this, and they feel it's a reflection of them, and they just couldn't get behind it. So, Dolan, and I'm going to say it, in Trumpian style, said, guess what? You're fucking fired.
You're fired.
You don't toe the line that I toe? Bye-bye.
You're fired.
And don't give me any bullshit that it had to do with the rebuild wasn't going fast enough. How long was the fucking rebuild going with Glenn Sather while James Dolan was here? Glenn Sather was the worst. And Dolan never fired him, never hinted of him deposing him as president, coach, GM, ticket attendant, or whatever the fuck Sather did here. It all comes back to politics. And you know what? I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted with politics invading my sports. I believe this, and now he gets Chris Drury. Oh, the beloved Chris Drury. What a piece of shit this guy is. What a piece of shit. He probably feels the same. He's probably a suck up to Dolan. And now who are they going to bring in here? Jim, tell him. Tell him who they're going to bring in.
Mark Messier is coming, fans. I'm telling you, he's coming. Mark Messier went on the Michael Kay show, and here's what he had to say on the Michael Kay show. I got it for you here, right? And we'll get back to the other stuff in a minute. Here it is. Mark, we solo treatmentize this. Mark Messier on the way the New York Rangers are built. In my opinion, if you're going to win, you've got to be able to win in the street and the alley. I particularly would not have built the team that didn't have answers in this regard. Might as well just drop your resume on the desk on your way out of the room there, Mark. He basically pulled up. Does everybody remember Rocky 3 when Rocky bails Paulie out of jail and they have to fight in the parking lot and Paulie just stops? Paulie stops fighting, stops throwing punches. He looks at Messier and he just goes, "Can I have a job?" That's essentially what Mark Messier is doing. Here he comes. All you people that wanted Mark Messier all those years ago, you're going to get him. You're going to get him because that is exactly who James Dolan wants. He wants the big name. He wants the splash. He wants the fancy name. I'm telling you, Mark Messier is coming.
But, okay. The ship has sailed that we got nobody on this team to defend anybody. I mean, you got Smith. Trouba would have dropped him if he was playing.
Right.
Buffalo had Lemieux. Don't tell me they should have never traded Lemieux. He asked for a trade. So that ship has sailed too.
Right. And not for nothing, yeah, but Brendan Lemieux, and this is coming from Brendan Lemieux's biggest fan, who shares this house with me.
I loved him when he was the Rangers.
She said to me, Brendan Lemieux would have stuck up for his teammates, but he ain't scaring Tom Wilson either. You think Tom Wilson's afraid of fighting Brendan Lemieux? I mean, yeah, Brendan Lemieux he's a tough guy. But
hang in there.
Right. But come on. He's not. Nobody's afraid of Brendan Lemieux. You think hockey players go to bed at night thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to have to fight Lemieux tomorrow"? It's going to come down to me and Lemieux. And the thing I love about this statement that Dolan put out is that he mentions George Parros by name. He couldn't tell you the difference between George Parros and George Papard. I guarantee you, he had to Google who's the head of NHL players safety.
Couldn't tell these two Greeks, Parros and Costa. He couldn't tell you which one was one.
Right.
It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. It's a circus. And it's just Dolan now fucking with the Rangers, just like he did with the Knicks. Now the Knicks are winning, so now it's a fucking, hey, let me shake things up with the Ranger fans. I mean, I see you know what you do? You fire the coach and you hire a coach that is going to bring in some tough guys in that heavy element. They built a team. Mark Messier, you couldn't even fucking build a helmet. Remember when he had that fucking helmet that he was peddling? Hope you didn't take fucking stock in that because you lost all your money. What the fuck? Listen, Mark Messier, one of the greatest players ever to play the game, one of the greatest Rangers ever. But fuck you. Fuck you. You can't coach for shit.
He's already auditioning.
Yeah, audition all you want. He'll probably get the job, like you
he's
said.
He's going to get the job. Oh, he's going to. Absolutely.
He did as a coach. Why does he hire Rick Tocchet so he can start a gambling ring? James Dolan, you piece of shit. Come after me. Come on, Dolan, me and you. You fucking dummy.
Quinn will be gone. Quinn will be gone Monday morning.
It's a fucking joke, Jim. What JD had 2 COVID seasons. How do you make an evaluation?
Right.
Gorton swindled he's made more swindles than any Ranger GM in history, practically. I'm not saying they're perfect. What kind of message does this send to the young players? Welcome to this organization. It's a fucking circus.
Right.
I thought we were doing good. Nope.
By the way, this might be the largest live audience we've ever had. We are
these fucking people are out here. They're outraged. The pitchforks are out.
Close to 100 people between Facebook and YouTube watching us live right now. Hello to all of you. Glad you're here. Who would I rather have, Pierre Maguire or Mark Messier? At least Pierre Maguire's got to get experience running a team.
I don't want Mark Messier in here. I really don't care at this point.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming.
I don't want him. He's probably coming. Let's do it. Let's do fucking Captain Obvious.
Get ready.
Messier, he won us a couple. He could be a good coach. Yeah, and he's such a great coaching prospect. How come no team in 20 years has even tried to talk to him?
Filipino and Zach Jones traded for Ryan Reeves because he's got grit.
Yep, exactly. Here it comes.
Here it comes.
Here it comes.
Oh, it's coming. I have to be honest with you. I was absolutely, not only was I stunned to the point of like, I didn't even know what to say when I first heard that. I was literally heartbroken. Heartbroken. You've been around this show long enough. You know that JD was my man, my first favorite Ranger. I don't care how good he was. I don't care about the career he had. I just remember as a kid, he was this larger than life guy with the big mustache and the cool mask. And I remember watching the 79 finals. It was my, I'd been watching hockey a little bit, but I remember watching the 79 finals with my dad and JD out of his mind. Loved him as a commentator. And I said it for 2 years when he got this job. I felt like one of us got the job. I felt like JD got us. He was one of us. I was I'm absolutely heartbroken over this.
Yeah.
Just absolutely. What happened? Where's I want to hear what Don LaGreca has to say. Mr. Dolan leaves the hockey team alone.
Yeah.
Where's that line? No, he's too busy interviewing Messier for the job. Mark Messier. Here he comes, kids. Here he comes.
JD was the only one who was plain dealing, talking to the fans.
Right.
There was nothing, Now, Gorton, I agree with Danielle Stewart. Gorton's a little puzzling. He's got the droopy eyes. He's
right.
There's no emotion really. But really, our drafts haven't been that bad. I know the team. I thought the team was coming along pretty well. But according to James Dolan standards, we should have been in the fucking cup. That's just bullshit. That's a subterfuge. It has to do with the Rangers being embarrassed with the Wilson thing, and them just saying, listen, your statement, we can't get behind that statement. We don't want to go out and target people. There's an appropriate that we just. I know for a fact, it's a philosophy. And this petulant little child, James Dolan, that's right. Come after me, Dolan. Don't come after him, but come after me.
Come after us both. We're a team.
A dummy. Now we're a joke again. Welcome back.
Right. Welcome back. Your dreams were
since you've been around.
Right.
We're a joke. Beautiful. Salute. Listen, I'm an old school guy. I want to see the fisticuffs come back. It's never coming back. I can't. It's a reality.
And it doesn't make sense. Okay, fine. You're not happy with the way the rebuild's going. So you fire the GM and president with 3 games left in the season? Why would you do that now? Why would you do that now? Do it after the season. Make an announcement. You know what? I own this team. I don't like the direction we're going. I'm making a change. To do this with 3 games left in the season makes absolutely no sense. After all this Tom Wilson bullshit that went on the last few days, and then for this to happen, the Rangers went from being a team that was on their way, with a lot of work to do, and now I feel like we've gone all the way back to the beginning, because now I feel like half the players on this team aren't going to be around in 3 years. Right. And I'm talking about the young players. I'm not talking about the Brendan Smiths and the Libor Hayeks. And I'm talking about the young players. They're going to be sacrificed.
It's exactly Messier's going to come in here, and it's going to be Ryan Reeves for Zach Jones. Listen, the Rangers are still they can find they could have went into next year and gotten some tougher guys, lose some of these other guys, and you get gritty guys. I mean, it's just, you know what? And I agree with Jason Pat. It is a temper tantrum by Dolan, and he acts like a fan more than an owner. He's a stunad. I'm sorry. JD is a beloved Ranger. You just don't show him the door with 3 games left, like you said. What's the sense? What are you going to get, a 3-day head start on finding and then they fucking Drury. What a piece of shit. One of the worst captains in Rangers history.
You understand that we've gone in the last 3 hours, we've gone from one of my all-time favorites running this organization to my least favorite of all time running this organization. I mean, this is like telling me we're going to the Florida Keys on vacation and you take me to fucking Newark. I mean, it's just, but now you start to wonder, when Quinn was out with the COVIDs, Chris Knobloch has to come up on the bench, and there's Drury right behind him on the bench. Now you start to wonder about these things. Drury turning down other jobs. Now all of a sudden he's the fucking king of the Rangers. This guy, 2 years, 3, 4
What
years,
did he do?
4 years out of
Sell the
retirement.
Hartford fucking franchise? Hasn't produced a player?
I mean, what is he, 4 or 5 years out of retirement? We hand this guy the keys to an original 6 franchise that hasn't won a cup now in 27 years. We're halfway to the old standby. We are halfway there, and we're nowhere near a cup now. I'm telling you, they just added at least 5 years onto this mess. However long you thought when you woke up this morning, however long you thought it was going to take the Rangers to win a Stanley Cup, add 5 years to it, at least.
Dude, they're going to if Messier comes in here, listen, again, Quinn, not my, again, meh. Fire that fuck. Fire him. Did I ever imagine that they would fire the GM and president?
Well, and that was my first reaction when I read that JD and Gortz are fired. I'm like, who the hell fired him? Like, you're the president of the team. Who fires you? It never even occurred to me that James Dolan would step in and fire these two. I wish them all the best. Whatever team both of them wind up with, I'll be rooting for them.
Yep. I hope they make Dolan eat it. He won't even care.
Connie, you might be right. We might be on Social Security before the Rangers get another cup.
Tough for sure. I just don't understand.
Kenny Albert just signed with TNT to do NHL hockey. Well, that's good. Good for that. Good for him.
This is
sure. He don't want to work for Dolan any more than anybody else does.
Why is he messing? Why is he messing?
Telling you, get ready.
It's the worst move you could possibly make. It is the worst move. Besides all the issues about what happened with Tom Wilson, 8 people outside of hockey that saw the Tom Wilson incident, because nobody cares. But now, apparently he felt somebody must have been in his ear, probably a former hockey player, like all these former hockey players, which they're right. I wouldn't have built the team the way the Rangers have built it. What? More Dylan McElrath, Messier? Is that what you fucking want? We tried that.
More huge specimens.
I understand the Rangers don't have the toughness and the grit at this point, but this is a work of progress. That's why they have an off season for. So, I don't know. I don't see how an owner fires anybody, a president who had 2 COVID seasons, and Gorton, who at least is 70-30 on trades and acquisitions, or at least. He's one of the better GMs I've seen come down the pike, the Alfie Pike. It's a joke. That's all I can say. It's a joke. I'm in some weird, bizarro dream world.
It really is. It feels like it's
I think it sets the franchise back now. This is just like, I don't wait fucking 3 years. No playoffs. They stink. They stink. Did he really think that they were a playoff team? And now I got to fire I have to start from scratch. These guys just haven't been cutting it. Chris Drury, you're exactly right, Jim. Drury hanging over Knobloch, getting promoted to whatever associate general manager. We got some stupid title about a year ago.
Right. Associate GM, I think he was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
He must be sucking Dolan off.
I mean, you got to wonder about all those things. This might be the funniest thing Cutter's ever said.
What'd he say?
be the funniest thing he's ever said.
That was pretty good there, Cutter. The president
Right, at 2 p.m.
and GM at 2 p.m. We're
Dallas,
fine.
Texas. From Dallas, Texas.
I'm Walter Cronkite. I don't know. What, does anybody else have any things they want to address as far as?
The chat room's going crazy. Joe Catroni's waiting patiently to come on and talk.
I see Ricky's got Messier, Leach, and Graves as the new coaches, GM, Prez. Bringing back the whole 94.
Right. Mike Hartman as director of scouting. Greg Gilbert.
What the fuck does Chris Drury know about hockey?
I like that. What does he know about hockey?
I mean, he played it. I don't know.
We should if we redo the bracket of misery. Where does this? Where does today come up?
Z-Man's got a good one. Where's Ricky Dippendots, our CFO?
Nothing's
He was
been right.
fired too, as well.
Right. He's doing Instagram music videos about the Mets.
Ricky, Dale Purinton is going to be our new coach.
All right, you want to bring Joe on?
Yeah, I want to hear other people's thoughts. Please call in, Skype
right.
in, whatever you got to do.
Well, we got Joe coming in, then we got Costa, Rock. Hey, Joe.
Hey, boys.
How are you?
Well, I'm about as good as everybody else is. I mean, it's just so weird. I mean, it's just completely blindsided by all this. I mean, I think my first thought, and probably everybody's, was, immediately think, oh, it was due to all this Tom Wilson shit. And then your second thought immediately goes to James Dolan. This fucking guy is one of those guys who doesn't like the rules. He takes his ball and he goes home. He's got a gajillion dollars, like Eddie said. I mean, we went from all being embarrassed over these last couple of days to like beyond embarrassed now. I'm sick over this.
Right. What's worse than embarrassed?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was really looking forward to seeing what Gorton and JD were going to do. I mean, I think Gorton earned it. And, yeah, there's always a couple. You're not always going to hit on every single trade and all that. But I mean, I think like the offseason, like we're going to have like $27 million to spend. And that scares the crap out of me. Like, that's scary. I almost don't want that.
a lot of money for Messier to spend on grinders.
I mean, listen. If what was said is true about Gorton and JD not being able to get behind that statement, and essentially not playing by the unwritten NHL rule, then good on them. And they'll be, like you guys were saying, they'll wherever they land, and they'll land somewhere.
Fast.
All the better for that organization, right? I mean, I had read that there was a little bit of talk about how some people around the NHL kind of got tipped off that this was coming. I don't know how far back that was. I mean, the talk about Dolan feeling they weren't rebuilding, fast enough, that's total bullshit. I mean, he brought in JD in the organization. Why, right? Was it because he was the big name? Was it because his history with the Rangers? Was it a feel-good story? Could be all three of those things, right? I mean,
right.
You'd have to assume one of the biggest things was the feel-good story of it, bringing him back. I mean, but, to his credit, JD preached from day one. He preached patience from day one. And they moved up the standings a hell of a lot quicker than any Rangers fan wants to admit. I mean, they finished the last season, which was basically a year removed from the letter, not even. Like, they were like 9 games over 500 heading into that play-in round. They took a dump in the play-in round, but it wound up working to our advantage. We essentially won 2 lotteries. Right. In the Kako lottery, we moved up to 2, and we won the lottery. And, Gorton signs one of the biggest snipers in Panarin. He makes one of the better trades, and in 5 to 10 years, maybe one of their best trades ever in acquiring Adam Fox. So, and they, of course, they took a big leap, which no organization really ever did, which was coming out with a letter publicly to the fans and the ticket holders. And that was just 3 years ago. And almost all the other NHL organizations applauded it for doing it that way. In fact, you're starting to see a couple of organizations follow suit now.
Right.
Being transparent, And they went from not having any stockpiling in the cupboard to one of the deepest, if not the deepest, prospect pool in the whole league out of the 31 teams. How is that not fast enough? So so I would like to hear what James Dolan's explanation is first. And if he says we didn't think it was progressing fast enough, then I hope every Rangers media personnel asks him the question, well, how fast did you expect it, and how do you think that they could have expedited it?
Right. Well, they can ask him those questions at the Messier press conference.
Yeah, that'll come. I mean, now you hand the keys over to Chris Drury. Now, granted, Chris Drury, I know we beat him up. I mean, he sucks, whatever. But he was the assistant GM for the last 5 years, right? So he's got to have learned something. You got to figure. I mean, I know we like to poo-poo on the guy and everything, and I do too. But I mean, you got to figure he knows something. Now, whether or not he's going to hold both positions, I mean, only time will tell. It's all raw right now. It's all raw. It's all raw. Oddly enough, there's been a lot of there's been chatter over the last day or so how so many any of the other NHL organizations, and they never go on record saying it, but a lot of organizations were happy about that statement about a team finally saying something about the NHL publicly.
Right.
Which is ironic, right? Because now a day later, after you read something like that and you're thinking, wow, that's some balls. And I'd say 95% of the people that I read about, fans that they were like, good on them. Well, look at that, huh? Egg in our face kind of, right? I mean, good on them. It was James Dolan. If that's true, it's James Dolan's doing, and JD and Gorton, like, no. There's an unwritten rule in the NHL. You don't play those rules. You don't go that way.
You want to hear the statement the Rangers just released?
Yes.
The New York Rangers announced today that team president John Davidson and general manager Jeff Gorton are leaving the organization. And associate general manager Chris Drury has been promoted to president and general manager effective immediately. Get ready, folks. Here it comes. Senior advisor Glenn Sather will work with Drury during this transition and continue to consult with the team.
Unreal.
We want to thank JD and Jeff for their contributions to the organization. They are both great hockey professionals who worked hard for the Rangers. However, in order for the team to succeed in the manner our fans deserve, there needs to be a change in leadership. That's a bunch of fucking bullshit, because there isn't one fan who thought there needed to be a change in the leadership. Bullshit.
One of those being a guy that he personally hired 2 years ago. Not even 2 years.
Right.
He didn't even last 2 years.
Chris is a very sought after executive and a strong leader who has proven himself to be one of the top young minds in hockey. We are confident he will effectively guide the team to ensure the long-term success we promised Ranger fans.
Unreal.
And then it's just a lot of blowing of it's a lot of filleting of Chris Drury about how he was captain and blah blah.
Oh, blah blah blah. Yeah, he was whole
fucking kidding me.
I mean,
senior advisor.
Did you expect anything? Did you expect anything different? Really, in a way.
I mean, is he still running this show?
I mean, it's scary to think that, and we were hoodwinked into thinking that James Dolan had no pulse when it came to the Rangers. All he cared about was kicking people out of the Garden, kicking ex-Knicks out of the Garden, and trying to pull the Knicks into some sort of pathetic playoff spot. That's what makes me the most sad.
Senior advisor. There it is.
He's going to help Drury.
Whoa, Messier's coming. Whoa, he's coming to town.
It's crazy.
It's like, oh, I got all these toys to play with that these other guys developed. Now let me come in and just wreck it.
Like it's like I want to refresh Twitter and I want to see we're just kidding. It's kind of like when JD played a trick on the fans on MSG all those years ago and said that he had taken a position with the Calgary Flames as the general.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. He had like a fake press conference, I think, too. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think this is the case. It's crazy.
I don't know what to say.
I know. There's not really much. It's shocking, right? I mean, nobody saw this coming.
Senior.
But you know what? Like what Jim was saying earlier.
It's a puppet regime.
Yeah. What Jim was saying earlier could possibly, and we may not find this out right away, but it could be true, right? Like you start piecing things together. Hindsight's 20/20, of course. But when you start replaying the film, you start thinking, what? Well, okay, Quinn, COVID, Drury behind the bench. Why? He's the assistant general manager. And you don't really think anything of it. And you start like going back in time and you start thinking, man, maybe this was in the works for longer than we thought.
Right.
We're going to find that out. Hopefully.
It's like when you were dating a girl and she breaks up with you suddenly and you don't expect it. But then little things start triggering in the back of your mind like, she didn't want to kiss me goodnight the other night when I dropped her off. She said she'd call, but she didn't call me for a day. It's little things like that. They all start to come to the forefront.
I was thinking about that analogy, only I was thinking about an ex-wife. You start replaying the film in your head going, you know what? This is starting to make more sense now. Oh, man. What a mess. Anyway, I won't keep you guys on. I know you got other people that want to jump on. I figured I'd give you my 2 pennies worth.
All right, Joe.
And I'll do this for Eddie. The news president, John Davidson, dead.
Unbelievable.
Remember, Eddie, when you put the glasses back on, you got to shake a little, like Cronkite.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
All right, Joe. We'll talk to you soon.
Halo.
Take care. Yeah, I'll see you later for Halo.
That was more like Nixon.
Bye.
I am not a crook.
Twitter's going crazy. I'm watching Twitter along here, and everybody's just crazy. We got a great crowd in here. Let's talk to some more people. Let's get Costa in here. What's up, Costa?
I'm this close of throwing out all my Rangers shit. This close.
I could see it.
Preach it.
I was thinking about boycotting the Rangers.
Hey, I'm putting it right now. Boycott this fucking team. What have I said for years? For fucking years.
It's all about the money.
Yep. This team is worth $2 billion. Why do I need to win a championship? Why? Huh?
Well, they were trying to build a championship.
You still want to get into the playoffs. You want to make that playoff money. You said it yourself. It's gate driven.
I can't. I have no words to explain how livid I am right now. Because at least whether you
know what? I wouldn't be shocked if this was a league edict through Dolan. You know what I'm saying?
Say that again?
I'm going to full conspiracy theory mode.
A league edict. What do you mean?
You know, that the statement they made. You don't cross the boss.
Well, who would cross the boss? James Dolan would. He's never gotten along with Bettman. He doesn't like the fact he couldn't have his own website. He had to acquiesce. For the Rangers had to be part of the NHL. It's always he's making a statement, that rebel, that short little turd. I want to beat him into the ground, and I'm not a violent man. It's horrible. His band blows. He's got no musical talent. He's got no talent. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. I'd like to shove it up his ass. And then to find when Jim said senior advisor Glenn Sather. And I think, Costa, you've actually said that he may be the puppet master several times during our tenure here.
Yeah.
And it turns out
he's the puppet master.
This wacko might be right.
Just let that sink in.
I don't want Glenn Sather working on my Pee-wee team, no less the New York Rangers. How old is this guy? When is he gonna die?
Why do you, when you say Messier is gonna be there? Why do you think that is? What do you think?
It's all nepotism. Say the only
and what do I say about Dolan? He wants those trophy execs. He wants names. He doesn't want
David Quinn.
Who's this fucking guy? JD? Who's JD? Who's John? Who's he? Some Gorton? Who's this fucking guy? You know? He want say the Drury and Messier. Come on.
Ryan Callahan will be back in the mix. Get ready, all of it.
Paul
I want to see what those two dumbcoughs in the booth say tonight. If they
here it is, right here.
They're gonna have to.
Here it is. There's your statement. We will never be free of that cigar chomping cocksucker.
Until he's dead. Until he's fucking dead. Until he's dead.
Well,
I'm telling you right now. If I'm gonna, like I said on the chat, if Rock and Danielle renew their season tickets, then to me they're culpable of this. They're just culpable. You just, again, why do you?
I mean, Josh Gibble has already called Fox and Lafreniere and Kako for Eichel. We're also getting a.
Well, does he have enough? Does he have enough grit for Mr. Messier?
I don't know. Fox and Laugh for Shea Weber. That I could see happening.
Right.
Really, Danielle, I'm jealous.
I could see
Danielle. Wait, no, Danielle, I'm jealous. Really now?
Uh-oh.
I'm jealous.
Don't turn on each other in times of trouble.
That's right.
No. Costa's point is that you're enabling them by going to the games. To this product.
Yeah. Again.
Oh, Rock is even chiming in. Brian.
Yeah.
Brian, no, Brian, don't watch what you say. You may be listening from those commercials on MSG. Watch what you say.
Right. They're gonna stop running his commercial.
Yeah.
Like I said to them, then you know what? I hope they enjoy losing.
It'll
enjoy it.
Fox and Lafreniere for Claude Giroux.
Okay, that's why I don't watch the games anymore because I don't enjoy losing.
No, I get it. It's gonna be like Ryan. Jim
called
Ryan
on YouTube with these fan meltdown type videos. You know.
All right, we can't turn on each other now. That's not what today is about.
Right.
Focus your anger where it belongs, people.
Sather is inquiring about acquiring Tom Wilson. Like when Messier did Pets. When they have no sense of history.
Yeah, I'm like,
focus your anger where it belongs. Senior advisor Glenn Sather.
How old is that fuck? That plague.
How old is that plague?
The plague on my Ranger life.
He He was COVID 1 through 19. He's 77.
After the original COVID.
Right. He was the first COVID.
Danielle, it's not that we're shocked. I mean, this is a real all-time shocker. This is not like some pedestrian ranger buffoonery here.
Right.
I mean, we spent the last 3 years talking about what a good job or what we got to watch this Gorton, and it just blows it all up. Start again.
Time for another Fire Say the Rally. This one will organize, so they won't have to lie about it. All right, Costa. Anything else?
I'm fucking done. I'm done.
All right.
I know. Just
All right,
take your medication.
We'll talk to you next week, Costa. We'll talk to you next week.
Take your medication. That's all I could say today, Ranger fans. Double up on the meds.
Bring them in. One after the other.
Come on, Rock. Come on.
Oh, wait a minute.
Rock, can you hear us?
There we go. Hey, Rock.
Guys, how are you?
Come on, Rock.
Wow.
Where were you when you heard the news? That's going to be the.
I was actually taking a snooze with one of the girls, so I woke up to a million text messages, a bunch of tweets, and just listen. I'm not shocked about Gorton. I am very surprised about JD. Listen,
You're not shocked about Gorton, really?
I'm not. I don't like the. I told you I didn't like his offseason.
Okay.
I don't think he deserved to be fired based off this. Like I said, I'm not shocked. I'm surprised, but I'm not shocked. And the fact that teams have been sniffing around Chris Drury, to me, it was just inevitable. They just kept on promoting the guy. It just seemed inevitable that he was going to have some kind of role. They did the same thing with Gorton, when they were looking to transition Sather out of the equation. And I just think that it was inevitable. I just think, from my view, is they're just tired of being embarrassed. I mean, the Islanders completely humiliated them in 2 games. Matt Martin did whatever he wanted. He took out Trouba, clean hit or not, no repercussions. Clutterbuck took out Lindgren, clean hit, no repercussions. Martin elbows Zibanejad in the nose, no penalty, no repercussions. Tom Wilson takes out one of the premier players in the league, no repercussions. I mean, it's got to build up after a while. Do I think it's somewhat reactionary? Absolutely. Do I think it's over the top in some ways? I agree. But, you can't help. You can't have a team of all young players and have nobody to protect them. I mean, they've been manhandled and embarrassed. And this goes back to the bubble. They were embarrassed in the bubble too. The team came up very small, very weak, very feeble-minded. All their big guys came up really short. And they didn't do anything to address it in the offseason. And I understand they're ahead of pace. I get it. And if they played in any other division, they'd be in the playoffs. And I understand, this is a shortened season, and under different circumstances, they may have been in the playoff run. And that's why I think this is a little bit more reactionary than anything else. But from a perspective of a fan, I mean, it's been embarrassing. This whole season's been embarrassing, starting from D'Angelo to Panarin. I mean, you just go on and on and on with all the nonsense that has gone on with this franchise. And let's be honest. I mean, the team didn't start winning until Quinn got COVID. So I mean, I'm not saying
fire him.
I agree. But
why are you firing the GM?
I think it's the personnel. I don't think it's the coach.
Chris Drury, you're going with him.
Listen. This all has to do with teams. Florida was sniffing around them. The Penguins were sniffing around them. I mean, everybody was.
The guy sucks.
That's
what
it.
I don't like him. I never will.
I'm with you 150%. I'm with you 150%. But to me, from what I've witnessed watching these games, they've been manhandled.
They have.
And they almost lost to the Devils. I mean, the Devils almost came back on them twice.
It's more infuriating if the Islanders go on to play Buffalo and fucking lose.
How is it that that's the other part? I mean, I should put money on this. How many times the Islanders or the Devils lose after they beat the Rangers? I mean, the Islanders shut out the Rangers in 2 straight games where guys don't show up. And listen, guys, I hate to say this. I like the comment that Dolan made. I'm tired of this league.
No, I'm
doing
glad
the
too.
nonsense that they have, letting this guy run amok, flexing in the penalty box, and there be no repercussions. $5,000, that's couch cushion money for this guy. I mean, I'd have no problem with that. And if Dolan said it, I'm fine with it. You know, I understand that JD and Gorton, they don't want to back him up because they're afraid of their futures. That's fine. But everyone knew where it was coming from. Everyone knew where it was coming from. It's just enough. I'm tired of this team being pushed around. And I'm not saying I won't want Ryan Reeves here because he's not a good hockey player.
He's coming for Fox. Adam Fox.
Yeah.
Get ready.
There's not many guys in this league like Tom Wilson. Let's be honest. He's the king of the jungle.
He's a fucking. There's a couple of the guys who can hit and score.
Matthew Tkachuk's another guy. You're not getting him. Lucic is past his prime. I mean, you rattle them off, guys. I can't even think of anyone else. Brady Tkachuk, you're not getting him. I mean, who else is out there?
Evander Kane.
And these are all the guys that couldn't stand Michael Haley and Cody McLeod. Meanwhile, they want to call up this 26-year-old defenseman that's played 3 games in the NHL to come up and beat up Tom Wilson. But meanwhile, we couldn't. We didn't want Cody McLeod here. We didn't want Aaron Asham. The guys played 8 minutes a night, and you know teams didn't want him here. They couldn't wait to get rid of these guys. And now all of a sudden, now we have nobody. Now everyone's crying and complaining. Can't have it both ways. You know, and when they Colton Orr, I mean, he was a fighter too. He wasn't a great player. You know, he was scary on the ice, but you know, you can't win championships with guys like that on your team. How many teams have won a championship with Colton Orr on your fourth line in the last 10 years?
Dude,
you don't win that way.
Where were they going this year? They were going nowhere.
It's reactionary,
but
it's a compounding starting from the bubble and working its way through the season with D'Angelo. It's just one big mess after another and culminating in being embarrassed in 3 out of their last 5 games.
Okay. All right. Well, now, not going to argue that point, but was it really, no, but I am going to bring up, was it really that bad that you don't give the guys that got you here, you don't give them the chance to kind of correct the problem over the summer?
I agree 100%. I think they would have.
I just think that a GM that's had a lot more hits than misses, I think you give him the chance, no?
Especially with the cap room you got.
Yeah, listen, guys, I agree with 100. That's why I said I wasn't shocked. I'm surprised. I'm not shocked. I think it's just overly reactionary to, I think, a fan base that has been going absolutely batshit for the last week over all this stuff, over the lack of toughness and the fact that they're young guys and their finesse players have been pushed around. And that's not the way I would run if I owned the Rangers, how I would have reacted. But I can definitely see, because I'm a hothead, I was fuming after those games, pacing. Wanted to put my fist through a wall because I was just so disgusted of watching them get pushed around by these bums.
Because we're a bunch of pansies.
I mean, I can kind of deal with Tom Wilson because he has some form of talent. Matt Martin, Cal Clutterbuck, and Case DeSicis wouldn't bag groceries on my team. I'm just so tired of seeing those guys manhandle us, and I just had enough.
Okay. But
I want to know who's St. STD is. I want to know who that is because he's been funny, but I don't remember ever seeing him here in the chat.
That's a great line.
Rock,
that is a great line.
When you see senior advisor Glenn Sather,
are you surprised though, guys?
But how does that make you a season
Dolan's
ticket
butt
holder?
buddy? I mean, that's no surprise to me. I knew he was coming. I'm not surprised about.
I thought he was going.
You know, did you really think that Dolan was going to hand the keys over to Chris Drury without somebody watching over his shoulder, like he did to Gorton for all those years? I mean, how many years did Sather watch over Gordon's shoulder? How many years? You know, I mean, and I'm not surprised about it. I don't know really what to say. I mean, I really hope Mark Messier, who is my favorite Ranger of all time, does not get involved. Why would you want to tarnish your legacy? I mean, do you want to come in as an advisor, help the team with friggin' face-offs? I mean, by all means, come in and help the team any way you can.
He's looming over this whole thing like he's looming over my shoulder, Rock.
What?
He's right back. He's looming over this team like he's looming over my shoulder.
You know, there's just so I put the thing that I've heard about the rebuild not being far enough, I think is BS. And if Dolan comes out and says that, then you know what? That's even a bigger problem. I mean, that's a totally different issue. To me, the rebuild is moving accordingly.
Just fire the coach, and he goes, "Listen, we got a lot of East-West guys here, and you need to bring me in some guys who can." Take the body, you can play defense and hit and a little bit of grit, and a guy who could stand up. One guy. I just need one guy.
And it's funny because I think they've kind of addressed that somewhat. I mean, Braden Schneider's a very similar cut to Ryan Lindgren from what I've seen. Actually, might be slightly better. He's actually a better skater and probably more of a points guy. The guy Will Cooley they drafted in the second round, believe it or not, said in his interview that he's a Tom Wilson. He models his game after Tom Wilson. He got him in the second round when the pick you got for Elias Anderson. So I think they were trying to start to add those guys. I think they were trying to add them from within. Again, I mean, I just, to me, and I've said this, I've been a broken record. I just don't know how you went into this season. What you saw in the bubble, however, all these guys came up small, ridiculously small.
I blamed it on the coach.
And not
and the core.
Well, listen, we all said, how come this team's not ready to start games? Tell me if I'm wrong. We saw that with Vigneault. We saw it with Torts. We saw it with Rennie. They were never ready to start games. They always came out flat-footed. They never seemed to have energy in every game, and especially in big spots. This team a lot of times had to weather a storm in the first 10 minutes, and until they found their footing, and all of a sudden, then they were able to get their bearings. But we've seen that forever. And if I'm wrong,
no, you're correct. But I don't see where that's what. Which the last show I brought up, there's a disconnect between the coach and the core veterans, that top six, that either they're not tuning him out or he's not, because it doesn't seem like they're ever ready to play the game. And then in the second period, when he has, again, now I'm getting on Quinn now because now JD and Gorton again. But in between periods where you have a chance to make adjustments, they give up a goal early in the second period every game.
Listen, I agree. They've been bad at the end of periods too. Beginning and start of periods. I mean, how many games have we seen them give up a goal? I mean, the other night against Buffalo, they're worrying about offense with 15 seconds left. Zibanejad and Brunstevich are out of the zone already, and Reinhardt's in the slot all by himself. I mean, at the end of the period, you're killing a penalty. Where are you going? So
that was horrible play.
Do you want to? I mean, you can't have it every which way. You want to score 8 goals a night, or do you want to win 2-0 every night? I don't know which is the worst thing. I guess winning 2-0 is, if they're winning, is what it is. But their defense is suspect. I think it's been better this year with.
It's been better
this
year.
I think it's been better this year. But you also got to remember, Fox is a year older. Lindgren's a year older. Trouba's getting a full season in.
I mean, there would have been a response had Trouba or Lindgren. If they were in the lineup, I know there would have been a response.
But guys, are they really fighters either? I mean, either of those guys. I mean, Trouba's big, but I haven't really seen him.
They're kind of like you hope for a draw.
Hard.
You hope for a draw when they fight. They're not going to beat anybody to a pulp.
I believe it or not, I think the toughest guy on the team at one point was probably Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah, he was good for his size.
And I just. I don't know. I don't like what I saw. I don't like what I saw out of those games. That the big players came up very small. I don't know what you do. Is it the coach's style? Is it the coach's system?
I just think that argument in this division, the Islanders, they're defensive and they're heavy. I mean, on their fourth line, those guys are heavy. Okay, the Bruins. I mean, not so much, but they have their. They have their guys. Pittsburgh, I don't think Pittsburgh's heavy anywhere.
I don't know how that team wins.
I don't know. They got guys like Alex Rodriguez is some guy playing on third line, fourth line. I don't know who these guys are. They keep winning. Brian Rust and Jared McCann and all these guys, they just keep scoring.
Bluger. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the great Teddy Bluger.
I don't know.
All right, Rock.
All right,
we'll take a couple more calls before we wrap this up.
Do your thing, guys.
Sorry for raising my voice against you, sir.
No worries. It's all good, guys. All in good form,
Thanks for calling in.
You got it.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, special surprise.
Mark Messier?
We have a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is. The one and only Matt Barnaby on the show.
Hey, fuck you, Matt, too.
Set with me today because I defended Tom Wilson. That's neither here nor there. I will not change who I am. I didn't think he did anything wrong.
No, we don't want you to.
It's okay.
Okay.
Bigger things.
All
Jeff
right.
Gorton, John Davidson let go.
Right.
Coincidence?
Surprising.
I don't think so.
No?
Because they issued a statement. Listen,
Right.
I didn't agree with the statement, but it's not like you don't clear that with the higher ups in your organization when you know you're going to get fined for such an egregious statement on George Peros. Jeff Gorton has turned this organization around a lot quicker than everyone in the hockey world thought that he would.
I agree with that.
John Davidson, one of the classiest guys I've ever met in my 15 years playing in the National Hockey League. One of the smartest guys I've ever met playing in my 15 years in the National Hockey League.
Wow.
James Dolan, not so much.
Really?
Once
Why is
wanted us
that?
to beat
He wasn't drunk when he met him.
stuffed dog before taking the ice in MSG to play a National Hockey League game.
A stuffed dog? Seriously?
One of the most inept owners I've ever seen and met in my life.
Really?
I'd love to say that you're in great hands. Unfortunately, for those people that know James Dolan, are nodding their heads right now saying, yes, Matthew, you are right.
Yes, Matthew, you are right.
Ranger fans, I love you. You're one of the best in the world.
But you
One
won't
of the
come on our
best in the
podcast.
National Hockey League. You deserve better. You just let a great GM go, a great president go, and two classy human beings go. This is not coincidence. This is not performance-based, because they are ahead of schedule for where they are expected. I wish you all the best. But man, at James Dolan as my owner, I have zero confidence in what's to come.
You know, the drunk's got a point.
Matt Barnaby calling into the show. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt. Finally getting a
signal.
Yes. Well, Jay of the Dead, we don't like Barnaby around here. You might have missed that show where he was supposed to call in and he forgot, and he called in from the golf course and he was drunk.
But he made up for it. He just there he was. Call it in.
He even put his Ranger jersey on.
He even put his jersey on, right? He had the jersey on for 8 minutes, just like one of his games. 8 minutes.
I mean, he's right. He hit all the points, but I think he's got it backwards. I don't think that's JD and Gorton's style to release that thing. I think it's more of wait a minute. Connor is now here calling from the
cabin in the woods
at the YMCA.
If you'll excuse me, guys, I'm running on dumpster fire Wi-Fi, which is extremely fitting for this dumpster fire of a team we have here.
Absolutely. I'm back. I feel like I'm back, and then like when we didn't win 7 years in a row. That's where I'm back. That's how I took the time machine.
Well,
senior advisor.
Well, here's my senior advisor impression.
Okay.
Which I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty of Glenn Sather, especially in his opening press conference.
Oh, he's going to be guiding Chris Drury how to run a team into the ground.
Oh, wait. This franchise just got set back 5 years. It's unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. And I'll admit, I was optimistic at the beginning of the year, and I thought we were going to make the playoffs. I was, a little more on the optimistic side. But, the younger players developed, and I would overall, aside from, the Tom Wilson hit, say that this was a good year. And I don't see why you reset the front office at this point. It just this doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense to any of us.
Jim Barnaby, 3 days left. You got to make this move. Is that imperative? This is a reactionary move to or it's premeditated, and this is a good excuse. Maybe it's Sather and Drury have been working on. Now that we got the players, let's fuck it up.
But at the same time, I mean, you look at before JD came in, you look at what Drury's performance was in Hartford. Hartford was a mess, and then JD came in, he made his presence known, and now our farm system is much better. Why would you screw that up? But I mean, by going back to the guys who ruined the farm system, the guys who overpaid massively for, they're the guys that gave Hank the massive extension and gave, all of these guys on the defense on the older side extensions, and that got us into cap trouble in the first place. And now they're going to do it again on July 1st.
I agree. Rangers have just traded Adam Fox for Curtis Gabriel of the San Jose Sharks, who's averaging 5 minutes in penalties a game.
Watch, we're going to trade for Evander Kane, and we're going to have another fat contract on our case because of the fact that Glenn Sather just can't help himself.
And Evander Kane is bankrupt. That's all. That'll be more of a. He loves to bail out people too.
Right.
Likes to give him that contract, that Jack Johnson one. I blame this all on Jack Johnson. From that signing on, it's all gone south. I don't know, man.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Watch. We're going to get Evander Kane and then come after a year and then still pay his contract because, Ed, you said it best yourself. The Rangers love to pay people who don't work for them.
That's true. I really, Connor, I can find no levity in this situation today.
Not a lot.
It's stunningly stupefying that you would do this now and with the people involved. Now, if they said Scotty Bowman was coming out of retirement to take over the Rangers, yeah. Chris Drury, I know that the minor leagues had some success under his, but he brings nothing to the table.
Yeah, he only had that success in Hartford because JD was a check under him. When it was Glenn Sather overlooking, it was a mess. Also, I'm calling it right now. Glenn Sather's gonna trade Adam Fox on his birthday because
just like Brian Leach.
There you go.
Scotty Bowman's only 87. He's probably gettable.
He's younger than Sather. How old is Sather?
That's who Neil Smith wanted before he hired Roger Nielsen. He wanted Scotty. Couldn't get him.
This is just, we got a fucking shit owner.
Yeah.
That's it. The owner doesn't care.
Watch. He's going to hire Wayne Gretzky or Brian Trottier as coach, considering...
No, he already did that Brian Trottier thing once. Senior advisor. Advisor on what?
Oh, my God.
All right, Connor. We got to roll.
Take it easy, guys.
Take care, my friend.
Thanks for checking in.
Recovery.
Nice seeing you. What are you at, a playground or something over there? I don't know where he was. Well, Jim... there's Brian Todd, the great Brian A. How are you, my friend?
Living the dream. There's a little guy behind me. Braden, say hi.
Hey, what's up, Braden?
Not kicking him out tonight?
Nah, he can hang out. He got his iPad, so he won't run in here.
Okay.
I was my first day back in the office in 14 months today, and this nonsense happens. I just I don't know. It feels like they're going to get so far off track with this rebuild just to accelerate it and bring in the wrong kind of player. I'm not happy at all. It makes no sense.
Yeah. No, it feels like the rebuild is over. We're done rebuilding.
Yeah, that's fine. But what are they Isn't their top 9 basically set in stone for the most part coming into next year? Unless you move Ryan Strome. I mean, for the most part, you know who your 9 are. You're really going to go get a goon for the 4th line? Is that really what they're missing? I don't know. Probably not.
Unless they get some guys to waive their no move clause. I don't see it. I don't see what they're doing.
Wasn't Quinn Drury's guy? Wasn't like Drury like a big proponent of bringing him in? I think I vaguely recall that. So I'm not entirely sure that.
He did some of the recruiting, didn't he?
Yeah,
I believe that's true.
Well, I mean, that's why Quinn stays.
Right. All that goodwill just feels like it went out the window. That's just how I feel today.
I agree with you. I agree with you. The whole upfront being with the fan base, JD, when he spoke, you knew he had feelings behind. He really was emotionally invested in the team. That's all gone now. And I still, how does this affect the players? You need some stability. I mean, especially with young players. And you've got a guy who's just going to fire people willy-nilly because of a statement. We don't know who made the statement yet, but I'm pretty sure it was not JD and Gorton. It's just not that type of people.
It sounds like it was Dolan, and it sounds like they weren't behind it, and it sounds like that's why they were let go.
When I read that statement they made last night, the first thing I thought of was, this sounds exactly like the statement they made during the playoffs in 2009 against Washington. It just had that same feel to it, like it was just whiny, like the kid down the street coming and complaining that nobody would let you play. It was just. That's why I didn't think it was JD or Gorton. It just sounded exactly like that message. The fans were calling out players' names. It was awful. We're hurt very badly by their words. I don't know. Dolan wrote that memo that went out last night.
We talked about it. Like, that was strong words. Great. But what does that mean?
Right.
I just feel like I knew where we were, and now I don't know where we are. Like, are they going to come in and they're going to try to get a lot of these, I don't want to say goons, but more trade some of this talent for guys that are, I don't know. I didn't see it as a systematic problem with the Rangers that couldn't be addressed in the offseason by getting a couple guys. It didn't take this. It's an overreaction, and there must have been some kind of word spoken, or I don't know. And, I'm miffed. I'm completely miffed right now. I don't know what to say.
Trying to fix that echo. I'm muting myself. I think it's a Be Live thing, but
yeah, I don't know if it's how you're listening to us, but that's why we're echoing.
I got you. Like I said, I have no confidence right now. I don't know where they're going to go. You just got rid of the architects, so now what do you do? Right? All Davidson said was, we have a plan. We're not going to rush it. And it finally felt like this was the last year of the rebuild. Last year of the bad money going out. You got $30-something million under cap next year. Not for you to go blow it, but for the chance that you have something now, you can keep the guys that you have. If you want to go make a move for Eichel, depending on what the cost was, you have the wherewithal to do so. Now I don't know. And it just feels like we're going to wake up one day and like at 3 a.m., Vitaly Kravtsov and somebody else is going to end up somewhere for some idiot for the fourth line, and I'm going to be beside myself because they spent all of this time and all of this effort building what is universally deemed to be this wonderful rebuild, and quick and everything else, full of talent. And now, we need people that can go get in Matt Martin's face. Like, that's what we're going to do now. Like, this feels so much like what the Flyers just did, where like you had Hextall that was doing, which wasn't really as successful, but they got to a point where, okay, well, it hasn't not moving fast enough. You're gone, new coach, and now they're in purgatory. So,
yeah.
Anyway,
all I know is I woke up this morning thinking that, okay, the Rangers season's almost over, but I like our future. I like looking forward to the future, and now I'm not. Now I just feel like Mark Messier is going to be the head coach of this team next year. And
if that happens,
well, I guess somebody put on Twitter, I think it was Vince Mercogliano, said that Chris Drury is it. He's the president and GM, and nobody else is going to be interviewed. but that doesn't mean
there's 3
anything.
games left.
I think the coach will be gone on Monday.
Well, everybody will be happy. All the naysayers will be happy. They get all new toys, and then in 2 months they'll hate those guys, and it just goes round and round and round.
I guess Larry Brooks just put this out on Twitter. I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Twitter.
Larry Brooks tweeted this?
I don't know if he tweeted it or I guess, yeah.
I think it was in the article.
Oh, it's in the article? Oh, I don't remember
I read
seeing
it somewhere. I saw that as well.
Oh, okay. I read that article, but I didn't remember seeing that. Interesting.
Oh, boy.
So,
all right, Brian.
We're back. No joy in Mudville, guys. We're back down the old road.
There's no joy in Mudville.
Nope. Now it's just 4 months till football season.
Great.
Great.
All right. Take care, Brian.
Take care, Brian.
Thanks, buddy. All right. One more and then we're done. They're coming in from all over the world, all over the North American continent. Josh Gimbel, what's going on, buddy?
All right, Josh.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
I'm horrible.
Wow. What just happened, eh? Like, that's unbelievable. I mean, I was on the way to the beer store and Justin Fried texted me. Oh, they just canned Gorton and Davidson. You can I don't even know what to think. I'm flabbergasted. I mean, I got a lot of hockey friends up here that are fans of, Leafs, Montreal, Boston, what have you, and everyone's absolutely shocked. I mean, I thought we were on the right track.
Maybe a different coach, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Quinn. I wouldn't mind seeing him go, but I don't think that's going to solve everything.
No, but I'm saying I envisioned when the Rangers got to that point, then you get rid of him, when they're ready to win. Because I don't think he's that great in game, but he's developed players. I mean,
the timing of it makes no sense, and it's got to go deeper than, they're underperforming. It's got to go deeper than that. I think there was a hell of a disagreement on that statement put out. Let's be real. As Ranger fans, if the Islanders or Devils put out a statement like that, would we not be making fun of them nonstop?
Absolutely.
I mean, as fans, maybe
drop the ball.
But I'd still say I agree with the sentiment, but I'm not a big fan of, I thought it was a strong statement. I think it could have long-term repercussions.
Wilson might not be as effective because he's got that in the back of his mind, and that his coach and GM is going to him, hey, you screw up, you're getting a big
or
time.
that the Rangers could now be, if something bad happens to him again, then Paros might be like, hey, you want to make fun of me? Guess what? Nothing's going to happen here.
Oh,
or the referees too.
We might not get a call for a while, but like Eddie was saying, I was good with my future, the future of the team. We kind of knew where things were going, felt good. I mean, yeah, we maybe need to add a little bit of sandpaper. I don't think we need goons, but I mean, someone other than Chris Kreider, Truman, Lindgren. I mean, we need we need a Wilson. We really do.
They're an anomaly, though, in this
But
league.
they're not. They don't exist.
It's true.
But
one of our sources.
Me though is I don't want Messier anywhere near this team. I saw
Me either. Enough with that guy.
I saw a tweet. I think it was Molly. I forget her last name. And Messier
Molly
made a
Walker.
comment. Yeah, that's right. She made a comment on the Rangers, or Messier. And he said something to the effect of he doesn't like how the Rangers are built, and that they need to be able to beat them in the street and the alley as well. When I hear something like that, I'm just envisioning a fourth line of coast guys, or telling Lafreniere to go and throw some flying elbows.
That day is gone.
It is
gone.
It is. I mean, it is, but we are clearly soft. We need some guys who can play, but also nut up. I mean, if you saw that last game against Washington after that Wilson incident, we were scared. We were scared. When I coach 14, 15-year-olds, when they get the puck and they hear the footsteps, that's exactly what you're seeing. They fumble the puck, they fall. I mean, when I played, I did the same thing after I got my bell rung. If I heard the footsteps, I'd bail out, and they were bailing out all game. I mean, and that's not a good look. I mean, other teams are going to see that.
Same deal with when Trouba got hit by Matt Martin. They were scared.
Right.
I mean, I don't think the answer is a bunch of goons, but maybe encouraging a little bit more sandpaper on this team. I think Quinn. I wish he would have blown a fucking gasket after the Wilson thing.
Exactly.
Fucking throw some water bottles on the ice. Go tell Labby, let's go fuck himself. Do something. Show something.
I covered that on the last show. I want to see some. You don't have to go Tortorella on him.
No,
but just go. Look like you care. Just act for me. I don't care if you mean it.
That's my biggest thing with Quinn. He's super nonchalant and like, what was it? The second Islanders game, he was like, "Oh, I thought we were better." I'm like, "What were you watching? We were even worse than the first game." I mean, a shutout's a shutout both games, but
when they lost to Buffalo before those 2 Islander games, and he says, "No, we beat Buffalo, but they came out bad in the first period," and he said, "Well, they just came out fast." It's like, what? Yeah, that's your reasoning. There was nothing else that you broke it down. There was just a faster team. I said, you're getting annihilated by the Islanders.
And that's my whole thing with why there has to be something else to this. If it's performance based, as ownership saying, then why the hell is Quinn still here? You figure you'd clean house. You got rid of the GM. You got rid of the president. It usually starts with the coach,
right?
When you're cleaning house.
I don't.
There's something else.
My guess is they're just letting Quinn coach the last 3 games and be done with it.
I think it's subterfuge. I really think. I think the problem is the problem is JD, Dolan, all that based on performance is bullshit.
Yeah.
Because everybody in the league, and I don't care what team, organization, the Rangers doing right. Every broadcast I watch, other teams, if they mention the Rangers, they say Rangers got a really bright future. Men's and men's on the coach. All right? All right? So what you do is you get together at the end of the year, you say, listen, we need more grit, we more toughness, we bring some guys in. You don't fire the whole fucking kit and caboodle.
No.
Right.
I don't even know what to think. It's
stuck.
I mean, it's mindful. I mean,
it makes sense. Drury, Quinn is Drury's boy.
I mean, I'm 30. I've been an avid Ranger fan, maybe 20 years, and has there ever been a day like this, at least in the last 20 years, 30 years, or something crazy like this was? And it's the timing of it too, with the whole statement last night. Like if they want to stay in the headlines, they're sure doing it. Like it's mind-boggling.
Certainly is.
I just don't know what else to say. And we'll see what happens tonight. I'm sure Smith will go out there and fight Wilson, get the shit kicked out of him, and
they'll all just jump him. The whole team. Fuck it. Empty the bench.
Go after the goalie.
Everybody. Go after everybody.
To me, the best thing that could happen is someone
forfeit the game. Big deal.
Someone 2 hands, Backstrom or Carlson across the wrists. I mean, the league shows they don't really give a shit.
Right.
Just read this on my Dale Purinton is going to be in the lineup for the Rangers today.
First line center.
If I'm in that dressing room, I'm not worried about Wilson. Screw Wilson. I'm going after the other guys. Make his teammates feel the repercussions. Because let's be real, we don't have anyone that can tangle with Wilson.
No.
Go after the goalie, like Sean Avery said.
There you go.
All right, Josh, we're going to go because I want to get upstairs and watch the pregame and see what they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure Valley will have lots of good takes.
Yeah.
They're on NBC
going
tonight.
on that.
They're on NBC.
This is going to be Sam Rosen.
NBC, yeah, that's right.
They're not on
NBC?
They're not on MSG tonight.
And the Sam
Only
Rosen.
NBC.
Yeah, next time if we do see Sam, he'd be like, "Well, the Rangers decided to part ways with Jeff Gray. They got no reporting integrity whatsoever."
Well, honestly, if it was on MSG, I wouldn't care if we stayed on till 7:00. But because it's NBC, I want to hear what they have to say.
Well, they're not having Joel Osteen on before the game.
No, there is a pregame show at 6:30.
All right.
Thanks, Josh. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys. Good talking to you guys.
Care. All right. That wraps up this post-mortem. And I think, Eddie, we had already decided we would be back Monday night for the funeral.
Oh, it's going to be mass graves.
And we'll see. And we'll see who's left standing.
All right, my friend.
All right. Thanks for coming on with me at short notice. Thank you guys for being here. This was a huge crowd at 5:00 in the afternoon. Where else you going to get this? Where else you going to go?
That's right. We're the best thing you can get in drive time.
We're always here for you guys when there's big news. We're here when there's not big news. We are always, always here for you. Don't you forget it. We love every goddamn one of you. Enjoy the game tonight. We will see you Monday night, 7:00, right back here on YouTube. For now, good night, everybody.
Bye now.